typical of my brother. He shrugged and said, "That's okay. I'll be in another film one day, and it will be better. Yeah, it's called Thriller." Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue reading. Toya Jackson. Bye. Toya Jackson. Motown's conduct following the guys signing to Epic Records was, in a word, deplorable. The label went to court to bar them from using the Jackson 5 name, which my brothers had coined years before going to Motown. Unfortunately, like so many acts, they'd signed away their rights to the name as a condition of their contract. Berry Gordy even claimed that he'd dreamed up the name. The whole thing was absurd. I thought, what do you mean my brothers can't call themselves the Jackson 5? They are the Jackson 5. What I tell you, that Lucifer, that Barry bed bug bites Lucifer, oh, he ain't nothing to play with. That Negro is vicious. The label's motive, vindictiveness to punish them for leaving. This suspicion was confirmed when many disc jockeys told us privately they were being pressured not to play Jackson 5 records anymore. Motown even went so far as to claim it was going to assemble another quintet and name it the Jackson 5, which legally it could have done. Joseph, though angry, was pragmatic. The best thing we can do, he said, is to get the legal rights to the name the Jacksons and forget it. Jermaine wasn't exactly an innocent bystander in all of this. When the Jacksons wanted to record a song written with Jermaine prior to his leaving and contracted him for his permission, he claimed he would sue if they released it. We all thought he was kidding until a letter from Jermaine's attorney arrived. Now, let me tell you something that I learned when I did the TT book. Not Young Eddie, but the Temptations book. Ooh, I forget his name. Tony Turner. Okay. When doing that book, I learned that the only way that book could have been published is if there was truth to it. Keep that in mind. Because if it wasn't any truth to it, he would have been sued horribly. Okay, now people will sue just about anyway, but it depends on if they win. And the suits that were filed against Tony Turner were dropped. So there's a lot of truth to his book. Just like the Eddie Armani book, Young Eddie. If there weren't truths in his book, then Tina Turner would have been able to sue him. Taking it to LaToya's book. If there weren't truths in this book, the Jacksons would have been able to sue LaToya. I believe that a lot of it was from her perspective, but a lie, I don't know. The brothers suspected that he was being overly influenced by his wife and brother-in-law. Yet no one held it against him personally. Respectable. I mean, it's respect. I respect it. Personally, I felt Jermaine felt a twinge of guilt over leaving and the subsequent legal skirmishes. The various lawsuits and countersuits between the Jacksons and Motown continued until finally settled out of court in 1980. Though he'll never admit it, I could see it in his face. Years later, when Jermaine's career didn't blossom, as Barry had promised, I think he realized he'd made a dreadful mistake. I mean, he was hot for a second. All night, you give me what I like. Nearly a year and a half would pass between the last Motown single, Forever Came Today, a remake of the Supremes' 1968 hit, and the Jacksons' epic debut. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself with me. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy this jamboree. Enjoy yourself. For the first time since they were little, my brothers were able to take a break from work and from each other. I can dig it. Any siblings need a break from each other from time to time because they'll rip each other's heads off, okay? But hold tight because we got some whiz tea that we get ready to get into. Perhaps because Michael lost his childhood to his career, he always loved fantasy and make-believe, counting among his favorite films E.T., The Wizard of Oz, and Walt Disney's Peter Pan. So he jumped at the chance to play the Scarecrow in the all-black remake of the second film based on the recent Broadway play. Ironically, Motown had purchased the movie rights. Diana Ross was already cast in the lead as Dorothy, while my brother beat out several actors, including Jimmy Walker from the TV series Good Times. Attention. Why the hell you hoes ain't tell me that Michael Jackson had to audition for the Scarecrow in the Wiz? And his biggest competition was Jimmy Walker. Ain't this a bitch? He was absolutely thrilled. Michael and I had seen the play several times and adored it and its score. Let me tell y'all something. Quincy Jones, when I say he put his foot in the Wiz soundtrack, I mean, he put his foot in it. What is your favorite The Wiz song? Mine is, he's the Wiz, he's the Wizard of Oz, he's got magic up his sleeve, he's the wizard. In the summer 1977, he and I flew to New York City where shooting was taking place. Mother came along to help us get settled in our Sutton Place apartment before returning to Encino. When not accompanying Michael to the set, I hung around with our friend Stephanie Mills, the Broadway production Dorothy. She was understandably miffed that Diana Ross was playing the role she created. Okay, Paul, so LaToya Jackson, you ain't going to mention the fact that them two was going together? That Michael Jackson and Stephanie Mills was going together? Okay. Other times I went to the movies with Diana's younger brother, Chico. Now, Chico loved him some LaToya Jackson. Okay, LaToya Jackson, she must have got that thing. Okay, she must have got that magic touch because Chico then fell in love. We know that one of them DeBarges, I forget which one it is. I'm sorry, but I always get Tommy DeBarge and Bobby DeBarge confused. Not because, just not because it's not that I don't care. It's just that I'm, we knew that Bobby lost his mind over that LaToya. They saying that was possibly the reason why he plummeted into drugs so hard, because he was heartbroken over that LaToya. Now, LaToya must got it. But anyway, her and Chico went to go see Goldfinger starring Sean Connery. The peoples at the Motown was trying to hook them two up together. Come on, won't you go out with him? LaToya was like, get somebody else to do it. Mother visited us for a few days every now and then. Once, when she was in town, we watched them shoot the scene where the Scarecrow is lashed to the table in the Wicked Witch Eveline's sweat factory, played by none other than the beautiful, magnanimous, splendiferous Mabel King. When I tell you she played the hell out of Eveline. Work! Smack! Work! Smack! Don't nobody bring me. Don't nobody bring me. Don't nobody bring me no bad news. The second the circular metal blade started whirring, Mother screamed, "Get my son off that table. You're not going to do this to my son." Cut. Girl. Katherine, that might be the reason why Joe was able to get away with murder. You really think they was about to cut your son up, girl, on the table? Are you crazy, girl? Anyway, Katherine about, I think probably 92 now. God bless her. And believe me, I do be a little rough on Katherine in this book, but it's not that I don't have respect for her. I'm just giving my opinion on certain things. I have the ultimate respect for any woman that can raise that many amount of kids. Now, we know the Reby was putting a lot of work in with helping to raise them kids, but I mean, For the most part, those kids were good kids. Yeah, they had some ups and downs, but what family that have that many children in it don't have one that's gay, okay? One that's an addict, one that's an alcoholic, one that is astute. You know what I'm saying? One a wife beater. I mean, it happens in all families, and the Jacksons are not exempt to it. Michael walked over and tried confronting her. Mother, he said, laughing, it's just a movie. It's perfectly safe. But she was adamant. Mike, that thing could slip. There could be an accident. Please don't do it. Mother, the blade goes through a dummy, not me. I don't care, Mike. Anything can happen. The scene was later finished without Mother's presence. Michael and I, surrounded by our security people and servants bought from home with us, weren't completely on our own. But we did go out more than we ever did in Los Angeles. The Studio 54 disco was then the hippest night spot in New York and was maneuvered our way through the dancing throng there several times, meeting regulars like Halston, Andy Warhol, Bob Mackie, Truman Capote, Bianca Jagger, and Liza Minnelli. You know Liza Minnelli. Her mammy is the original Judy. Okay, I was just checking. Little did we know, the first few times we went to Studio 54, co-owner Steve Rubel escorted us into the private back room reserved for VIPs. Everywhere you looked, dancers paused to sniff from the tiny colored vials that hung from the chains around their necks. I just assumed these were the latest fashion accessories. It never occurred to me they contained booger sugar. Want some? Someone inevitably whispered in my ear. No, thank you. Y'all, one time I had went to Tracks. I don't know if I told this story before, but it's okay. You know, that's what I do. I tell stories here. Y'all told me it's okay to tell stories. But child, one time I was down there at Tracks. And it wasn't on a black night. It was on a, multicultural night. But everybody there was gay, right? Oh, my God. Was it Tracks or was it the hung jury? I can't remember. But child, I was down there at the Tracks. And this Asian girl said, you want some Special K? Fuck, I don't want no syrup milk. Nah, go to the bathroom with me. Fuck no. I ain't going to the bathroom with you. Fuck no. The first thing you did wrong was ask me to do something in the bathroom with you. If I'm not going there to do number 1 or 2, where are we going there for? How about you? No thanks, Michael answered. In October 1978, all the Jacksons attended the Los Angeles premiere of The Wiz. It was so exciting to see the finished movie, and everyone thought Michael made a fantastic scarecrow. You can't win, you can't get in, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things that look better, but it looks just like they're staying the same. It was so exciting to see the finished movie, and everyone thought Michael made a fantastic scarecrow. But The Wiz elicited only lukewarm reviews and proved a box office fiasco. This upset Michael because he knew the film industry viewed it as a litmus test to determine whether big-budget black pictures were worthwhile. Its poor reception disappointed him, but typical of my brother, he shrugged and said, "That's okay. I'll be in another film one day, and it will be better." Yeah, it's called Thriller. By then, Michael was immersed in his first solo album for years, Off the Wall. At the same time, he, Randy, Marlon, Tito, and Jackie were readying the Jacksons' first totally self-composed, self-produced LP. This was the creative freedom for which Joseph had fought, and as Destiny's mammoth success confirmed, they were right to have left Motown. The guys already had a number of hit singles from their first 2 epic LPs. Enjoy Yourself, Show You the Way, Let Me Show You the way to go, and Going Places. But the top 10, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, helped make Destiny their highest charting album since 1972 and fueled a mini revival of Jackson Mania, a full decade and 19 million records after the first wave. With his new partners Ron Weisner and Freddie DeMann, Joseph still managed the Jacksons, and on his own oversaw Janet and me. Hazel managed Jermaine. Even the most insignificant career decision was subject to family discussion. While mapping out Off the Wall, Michael told us he wanted to work with Quincy Jones. This would prove to be the pairing of a decade. But back then, it seemed a mismatch, as Quincy was known mainly for jazz and scoring films, and also not showing up. That's what else he was known for, and being flaky. Almost everyone objected, no one more than Joseph.
Go.